Hello, my name is Katie Hardy, and welcome to my instructional video on how to make deviled eggs, the Crosby Hardy way. In my family, it wouldn't be a holiday without deviled eggs being served. In fact, they've been around for as long as my mother has been alive. Even when my mother was little, deviled eggs were served at dinner at any holiday celebration. As early as 1964, like this photo here, deviled eggs were served at the table, like as this photo shows. And here's a fun fact for you. That is the same dish we currently use to serve deviled eggs today. My mom learned how to make deviled eggs from her grandmother. Her grandmother, or my great-grandmother, was known to be a great cook in the Crosby family, and it was this recipe that she passed down to her granddaughter, which was introduced to the Hardy family, like me. Before you can make anything, you first need to gather your ingredients and materials. Here it is in list form for you in case you want to pause the video and either write the ingredients down or go gather them yourself right now. Eggs, mustard, vinegar, pepper and salt, mayonnaise, and paprika, and water. Easy accent decorator, knife, spoon, a pretty dish to serve the eggs in, 2 bowls, and a pot. Here is an overview of the steps to get a sense of what the process will look like in the rest of the video. Also, it is important to note that the Crosby Hardy way of making deviled eggs is a 2-day process. Steps 1 through 4 occur the day or night before, and steps 5 through 12 occur the day you want them to be served and eaten. Begin by placing the eggs into the pot you would like for them to be boiled in. According to Mama Hardy, the best eggs to use are those that have been sitting at room temperature for a while, so let them sit for a bit after you've taken them out of the fridge. To get them ready to be boiled, you will need to add water. Add enough water so that way the water rests about 1 to 2 inches above the eggs. The second step in our process is to boil the eggs. Make sure the pot is covered so that way the eggs can boil faster. After the water is boiling, turn the heat off and let the eggs stand for 10 to 15 minutes. Because we need to make sure our eggs are cooled after being boiled, the next step in the Crosby Hardy recipe for deviled eggs is to cool the eggs with cold water. To do this, drain the hot water into a sink and add cold water to the pot filled with eggs. Once the eggs are cool enough to touch, place them in a smaller bowl that can go in the fridge. Then let the eggs chill in the fridge. Ideally, these would be sitting in the fridge overnight. The Mama Hardy way to peel an egg is illustrated through the video, but here are the details for the true Crosby way. Crack the shell lightly, then roll the egg in your hands to loosen the shell. After loosening the shell, it should be able to just peel right off, and then dispense the shell into a trash can. Rinse off the peeled egg to make sure to get rid of any little tiny pieces. You want to complete this process for all of the eggs you plan on making. The next step is the beginning of actually making the finished product. In this step, you will use a knife to cut the eggs in half, take the yolk out and place into a bowl, and lay the remaining egg into a pretty dish that will be used for serving. As stated earlier, the first part is to slice, then remove, then lay. If you really want to follow the way Mama Hardy mashes the yolk, as she learned from her grandmother, you first take a knife and cut some of the yolk into smaller pieces. According to her, it makes it easier for the yolk to be mashed later on with something like a potato masher. You want to mash the yolk until they are in little tiny pieces. The next step is to actually add all the ingredients that make the yummy mixture that goes inside the egg. For 2 dozen eggs, Mama Hardy added 1 1/3 cups of mayonnaise and stirred it into the yolk. Next to add is mustard. For this recipe, 1/3 of a cup is used. However, as Mama Hardy has told me countless times, it all depends on how you want it to taste. If you want more mustard, add more mustard. Our household adds more mustard than some because my father loves mustard. Next to be added is vinegar. For this recipe, 1 1/2 tablespoons are used, since we like vinegar in our mixture. What was said earlier still applies though. Add as little or as much as you want, depending on your preference. You want all the ingredients mixed until it is creamy, and add salt and pepper at the end. The Crosby Hardy recipe has been updated to use an easy accent decorator, like the one from Pampered Chef, which is seen in the video, is used to make filling the eggs easier and prettier. However, if you want to do it old school Crosby like my great grandmother did, you can use a spoon to scoop and fill the eggs. The easy accent decorator makes it really easy to fill the eggs. The final step of this Crosby Hardy recipe is to add paprika. After all, it is the ingredient that gives deviled eggs their name. And there you go. The eggs are ready to be served and eaten. I always recommend keeping some and eating a few for yourself before serving, but that is completely up to you. I hope you enjoyed this instructional video and good luck making these deviled eggs for yourself.